What's up YouTube? I'm Jay and I'm back with another video for you guys, and today I'm going to talk about my experience 1 week in dieting, and I'm going to cover a few different topics. Just generally going to give you an update and share some of my thoughts and some tips and tricks that I think that will help you guys to lose weight or to burn fat. Okay, so the first thing is the last week I forgot to mention my weight. My weight at the beginning of last week was 79 kilos. So just to give you an idea of what I was like during my competition, I was at 69 kilos. So I gained like 10 kilos up until last week. Okay, so in order to calculate my body fat, what I did was I went to a website that will be again in the link. There will be a link in the description below. I went to a website and I measured my neck, my waist and my hips, and of course your height, so that it knows the proportion. And using these three measurements, it gives you sort of a approximation on the body fat percentage. So after doing the measurements, today my body fat is 16.8%, which is great. It's 1.2% lesser than the last time. And my weight that I measured today morning was 77.8. So from 78, previously when I measured it was 78.8, I dropped 1 kilo to 77.8, and I also dropped 1.2% body fat. When you measure your weight and your body fat, try to measure it the same way each time. So for me, all I use is I use a simple tape measure. So if I'm measuring my neck, what I do is I put it around. So I measure it and then I look at it and it's 36. And I measure it again and then I take it off and it's 36. So I measure it at least 2 times so that I know that I'm measuring it the right way. So for guys, the hips is from just your upper body up to your torso, which means to the bottom of where your abs would be. You look at which part of your body is the thinnest. So for me, it's here. So what I do is, once I've got that, I look in the mirror while I'm doing this. So right now I'm just looking at the camera. So I measure it here and I take it out and it's 80 something. So it was 83 today morning, but with my clothes and everything it's 85. The last time what I did was I went to bathe, I took a shower, etc. I had a glass of water and then I measured. So I did almost exactly the same thing today. Maybe I brushed before I showered, that kind of stuff, that's fine. But basically try to keep all the activities about the same. Okay, so for the glutes, for guys, you need to see the thickest part of your hips, including your glutes from the side view. So for me, it would be somewhere around here. As for women, you need to see the thickest part from the front. So for guys, you need to see both the front and the side. So it's about here from the side, and from the front is about the same place. So for men and women, it's slightly different. But again, there are lots of resources online that you can use to find these differences. Alright, now my recommendation for your weighing scale is gonna be this. I got a digital weighing scale, so it's a lot more accurate than the previous one I had, which was not digital, it was like analog. So don't get an analog weighing scale, get a digital weighing scale, because those differences in like 0.5, you drop 0.5 kg of weight, even that much is still quite an achievement, especially towards the end. As your body fat decreases lower and lower, your decrease in weight will be smaller and smaller each time. Right now I lost 1 kg exactly, but the reason for that is because a lot of the weight that I was already carrying was water weight. So I would say that half or lesser was fat loss and the rest was water weight. The water weight also contributes to your body fat percentage. 18% body fat was including whatever water weight I was carrying. So that means I've lost some water weight or some of the water retention that my body had, and now my body fat is at 16.8%. So why does the body retain water? Well, when you eat a lot of junk food, all the sodium in that retains the water. So like if you eat something that's really salty but it's really tasty, or you eat potato chips, they have a lot of sodium in them, and that causes water retention. So sometimes, like if you eat something, like if you eat a packet of potato chips and the next day you step on the weighing scale, you might gain like 500 grams straight away, and you're like, oh my god, I can't eat potato chips ever again. Well, a lot of that 500 grams is water weight. Almost all of it is water weight. You're not going to gain straight away in one day. But if you eat like that for a few days consecutively, yes, definitely you'll gain some weight. Okay, now my workout style. So my workout style is I lift heavy at the start of each exercise. So if I'm training chest today, I will do my heaviest bench press, my maximum effort. So for maximum for 2 reps, 1 rep, that kind of thing. So that is basically to have a better neural connection with my muscle. Why is that? So when you have big muscles, when you are increasing the size of the muscles, what happens is there is a sarcoplasmic growth. Basically that means that your muscles fill with muscular fluid, and that increases the size. But at the same time, that doesn't make your muscle look hard. It just looks like it's big and it's full, like this guy here. So as you can see, this guy, he doesn't look like he's very hard or muscular. What he looks like is like a balloon. Although he's big, and although I'm sure that he puts in effort and it's pretty admirable. I mean, look at the size. It's pretty admirable. But he looks like a balloon. I don't want to look like that, and I'm sure a lot of you out there don't want to look like that. I want to look like this guy. Now this guy, his muscles have a harder look to them. It seems like they're made of stone. Whereas the previous guy didn't look like he was made of stone. This guy looks like he's made of stone. I want to be made of stone. So that's why before each exercise I do my maximum effort to have a better neural connection. So that better neural connection increases the chances of myofibrillar that growth. Basically it increases muscle fiber growth. So muscular fluid then becomes muscle fiber. So you want more muscle fiber. Okay, so that was a little bit of information on my workout, and I hope I didn't bore you guys. It was a little bit technical, but I think that it's important information. So now I'm going to take a look at my macros, and I'm going to tell you guys what my macros are. Okay, so for my macros, I'm eating 128 grams of protein, 57 grams of fat, and 253 grams of carbohydrates. So you might be thinking, that's a lot of carbohydrates. Well, that's exactly the way I ate for the past week, and I still lost 1% body fat. And like I said previously, I'm experimenting with a more sustainable way of eating, which is if it fits your macros. So basically, every single day, almost every day, I was able to eat 2 Subway sandwiches. There was one day where I even went out with my friends and I ate like a packet of potato chips. Not the whole thing, like half of it. But I was able to do all that, but I was still able to keep my calories in control. It's a lot easier to do if it fits your macros than to do just a bro dieting. It's called bro dieting, like broccoli, chicken breast, spinach, tuna, all that really lean meat, but like when you eat it, you're like, ah, that's disgusting, but I gotta eat it, man. I gotta eat it. It's disgusting, but I gotta eat it. I didn't want to do that. I got tired of that. Even though I love the results, but I just got tired of that. And I'm going to continue doing this and see how far I can go before I really have to like cut it out of my diet completely. So right now I'm eating 128 grams of protein, 57 fat, and 253 carbs. That adds up to 2,040 calories. My daily expenditure is 2,549, so which means I burn about 500 grams of calories per day. Now every day it won't be exactly, maybe I'll burn a little bit more, maybe I'll burn a little less, but the whole point is like as long as you hit around this, the more accurate you are, the better. So as long as you hit these macros, is good, is good enough. But of course I also try to eat fiber every for like 10 grams or 15 grams of fiber per 1,000 calories. So I'm going to be eating 2,040. I'm going to get at least 30 grams of fiber into my body per day. Right, now this part of the video, the last part, I'm going to talk about some of my feelings and how I felt the first week of dieting, first week of trying to avoid some foods. So there were times when I was walking home from the train. I took the train, I got off, and I suddenly there was a smell, and I'm like, man, that's tasty. That smells so good. And then I realized what I was smelling is a waffle. and I suddenly had a craving. Because for the past few months, I was able to buy whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and eat it. But this time I had to control, because I had already planned what I was going to eat for the day. And even though I had some leeway, it was flexible, but I had to avoid it because I already ate. I was towards the end of my quota for carbohydrates. Sorry, towards the end of my quota for fat. So a lot of good food is very, very high in fat. Like for example, I love KFC chicken, but it's so high in fat. So if I ever want to eat KFC chicken, I probably wouldn't be able to eat the whole meal and add like cheese fries or something to the side. I probably can only eat one piece of chicken and maybe one cheese fries. That's it. I can't eat mashed potatoes, I can't eat everything. So the key thing is control. But it's not about telling yourself that I can't have this food anymore. No. If you tell yourself that, you're gonna crave it even more. What you need to do is you tell yourself, I can't have this right now, I'm gonna have this later. That's how I deal with any kind of craving. I say I'm gonna have this later. Second thing I do is I drink a glass of water each time I have a craving. So if I'm at home and there's something at home that I want to eat, like a piece of chocolate or whatever junk food, I just have a glass of water first, and then I think to myself, am I still hungry? Do I still need to eat that? Then if I do, the third thing I do is I try to look at scenery of nature. So I'll quickly Google on my phone, I'll say beautiful scenery, beautiful nature, northern lights, something that is not living. So like rocks or waves crashing on a beach or the Eiffel Tower, stuff like that. And studies have shown that when you do think of this, you reduce your hot response time, your hot response to foods, and so you'll be able to control your desire to eat the foods better. So that's it for now. This is my experience so far with this dieting, and so far I'm going to say it's pretty good. I'm going to continue with my workout plans, and that's it. Subscribe, comment, let me know what you guys would like to see. I love that you guys are showing me support, and thank you for watching the video. See you next time.